Just deal with that.
No, you have to do it first. I was going to do it first. It's like a part of it. Need the lighter. It's like it's a certain way I'm supposed to do it. Supposed to do the coal first to get it and cleanse the place.
Just to aim this up a little bit.
Get all the demons out of here.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's already live?
Yeah.
Tazia Banzabala Wambanya Shral.
Tazia Banzabala Banya Sha'ala. Hold on, do the salute.
Yahba Senya Shabrakatam.
Yahaba Shema Shabrakata.
Laya Shral.
Laya Sha'ala.
Good. Put on the module, which means it's stand. Actually, hold on one time.
Get the scroll right.
And now we're going to stand.
Go ahead.
Module, which means it's stand. We're going to saw. We're upon walk with them, which means to turn the face east.
It's this way.
We're going to read the Lord's Prayer in the last one, Kodash. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shema.
Shabbat Shema.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Hayah.
Haya.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malatuka.
Malakaka.
Taba'a.
Taba'a.
Ratazaka.
Ratazaka.
Hayah.
Haya.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Baratiza.
Baratza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Hayah.
Haya.
Bashema.
Bashemaya.
Latanana.
Atananawa.
Lakam.
Lakam.
Ka.
Ka.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalakna.
Salakinawa.
Kabawatna.
Kawawatinawa.
Kasalakna.
Kasalakinawa.
Kabawatina.
Kawawatinawa.
Warala.
Wala'a.
Tabi'ayna.
Tabi'aynawa.
Vanasa one.
Walasawan.
Abba.
Abba.
Aishayna.
Awashaynawa.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Ra.
Right.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Amlakwa.
Amalakwa.
Wahala.
Wala.
Watapara.
Watapara.
Lalumium.
Nalumium.
Amen.
Amen. Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father,
Our Father,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done
in earth, as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us today
our daily bread.
our daily bread.
Forgive us our
And
debts.
forgive us our debts.
To forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not.
And lead us not
into temptation.
into temptation.
But deliver us.
But deliver us
from evil.
from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it. This is the Hakak in the last one, Kodash. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahasham.
Bahasham.
Yahweh Shah.
Yahweh Shah.
Babakashah.
Baruch
Latanana.
Natananawa.
Haka.
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 Lar Pa'a.
Barma'a.
Kamakala.
Kamakala.
Wakamarawa.
Kamarawa.
Haka.
Haka.
Latzahar.
Latzahar.
Hamatazariah.
Amatazarayim.
Haka.
Haka.
Lahakwim.
Lahakwim.
Hamatim.
Hamathim.
Haka.
Haka.
Awakawa.
Harakawa.
Hatamala.
Atamala.
Lagarashan.
Lagarashan.
Bahasham.
Bahasham.
Yahusha.
Yahushua.
The water.
The water.
Amen.
Come on. Now we have the power prayer in English. Lord,
Lord,
in the name of
in
Yahushua,
the name of Yahushua,
please give us the power.
please give us the power,
The power to heal.
the power to heal
All manner of sickness.
all manner of sickness,
And all manner of disease.
all manner of disease,
Power to cleanse the lepers.
power to cleanse the lepers,
Power to raise the dead.
power to raise the dead,
Power against unclean spirits.
power against unclean
To
spirits,
cast them out.
to cast them out.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua,
Thank you, so be it.
thank you, so be it. Next, we have the blessed Israel in the last one for us. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Bahasham,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Baraklanau,
Baraklanau,
Rasha'al,
Wayasha'al,
Wahabaya,
Wahabaya,
Sapari,
Safari,
Barak,
Barak,
Ba'ashem,
Bahasham,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Tawad,
Tawad,
Amen.
Aman. And what we said in English was, Lord,
Lord,
in the name of Yahushua,
in the name of Yahushua,
bless us
bless us
and Israel
and Israel
in the school.
in the school.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua,
Thank you, so be it.
thank you, so be it. Next, we have the Psalms 121 in the last one, Kodash. Aisha,
Asha,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Ahahari,
Ahahari,
Ma'ayan,
Ma'ayan,
Yaba'a,
Yaba'a,
Izari,
Isaiah,
Izari,
Isaiah,
Ma'an,
Ma'an,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Shamayam,
Shamayam,
Wa'arataza,
Wa'arataza,
Al Yatan,
Al Yatan,
Lamawat,
Hamawat,
Regalka,
Regalka,
Al Yanawam,
Al Yanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Hana,
Ana,
La'a,
La'a,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Walala,
Wala'a,
Yayashan,
Yayashan,
Shawamar,
Shawamar,
Yasha'al,
Yasha'al,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazalka,
Al Yad,
Al Yad,
Yamyamka,
Yamyanka,
Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Hashamash,
Hashamash,
La Yakaka,
Yaka,
Wayarak,
Wayarak,
Bala Yala,
Walagila,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamarka,
Makalra,
Makalrai,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Afnapash,
Atlapashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Tazaka,
Tazaka,
Babawaka,
Babawaka,
Mayata,
Wayata,
Wa'ad,
Wa'ai,
Awalam.
I will now in English. I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee,
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keep Yasha'Allah,
he that keepeth Yasha'al
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade.
Yahweh is thy shade.
Upon thy right hand,
Upon thy right hand.
the sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in
from this time forth
from this time forward,
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. Next, we have the Psalms, chapter 83, in the last one with us. Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Adamayalaka,
Al-Damayalaka,
Atakarash,
Al-Takarash,
Atashakwa,
Al-Tashakwat,
Ah,
Al,
Kayahana,
Hayahana,
Awayabyaka,
Awayabyaka,
Yahamayawan,
Yahamayawan,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Amaka,
Al-Imaka,
Yariyamwa,
Yarayamwa,
Sawada,
Sawada,
Wayatha,
Wayata,
Ya'atazawa,
Ya'itazawa,
Altazapawanyaka,
Al-Tazapawanyaka,
Hamarwa,
Amarwa,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
when I cut the Adam,
Makatidam,
Magawi, Walala,
Walaha,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Sham Yashal,
Sham Yasha'al,
Awada,
Awada,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawa'atazawa,
Nawa'itazawa,
Laba,
Laba,
Yakadwa,
Yakadwa,
Awyaka,
Ayaka,
Barya,
Marya,
Yakarathwa,
Yakaratwa,
Ahawya,
Ahali,
Adawam,
Alawam,
Wayashma'alam,
Wayashmayalim,
Mawaba,
Mawahaba,
Wahagari,
Wahagarim,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Wamawan,
Waimawan,
Wamalak,
Waimalak,
Halasha,
Halashat,
Yushabi,
I'm Yeshabia,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gama Shawar,
Gana Shawar,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Amma,
Imam,
Ayawa,
Ayawa,
Zarawat,
Sarawai,
Labani Lawat,
Labani Lawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Aisha Laham,
Aisha Laham,
Kamadia,
Kamadia,
Kasiyah Sarah,
Kasaya Sarah,
Kayabya,
Kayabia,
Banakal,
Banakal,
Bayashwan,
Bayashwan,
Nashamadwa,
Nashamadwa,
Bayandara,
Bayandara,
Ayawa,
Ayawa,
Dama,
Dama,
Larama,
Larama,
Shaitamwa,
Shayatamwa,
Nadami, Slay, Nadayamawa,
Nadaya Mawa,
Kaira,
Kaira,
Wakazaba,
Wakazaba,
Wakazabak,
Wakazabak,
Wakatazamana,
Wakatazamanai,
Kanasai Kamwa,
Kanasai Kamwa,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Hamarwa,
Amarwa,
Narasha,
Nayarasha,
Nalawa.
Manawa.
Ah.
Ah.
Nawa.
Naawa.
Alahaya.
Alahayam.
Alaya.
Alahaya.
Shayatama.
Shayathamwa.
Kagagala.
Kagagala.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
Lapanya.
Lapanya.
Roka.
Raka.
Kaash.
Kaash.
Tabaira.
Tabaira.
Yair.
Yaira.
Wakalahaba.
Wakalahaba.
Talahat.
Salahat.
Harayam.
Harayam.
Kantar Dafma.
Kantara Daphma.
Basairaka.
Basairaka.
Wabasa Wapatka.
Wabasa Wapatka.
Tabahalam.
Tabahalam.
Mala'a.
Mala'a.
Panyaham.
Panyaham.
Palawan.
Palawan.
Webakwashwa.
Wayabakwashwa.
Shamka.
Shimka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yabashwa.
Yabashwa.
Wayabahawa.
Wayabahalwa.
Ayai.
Ayai.
Wayakaparu.
Wayakaparwa.
Wayabadwa.
Wayabadwa.
Wayadaawa.
Wayadaiwa.
Kayata.
Kayata.
Shamka.
Shimka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Labadka.
Labadka.
Al Yawan.
Al-Yawan.
Alkaha.
Al-Kahar.
Arataza.
Al-Ratazah. All right, now we got Psalm 83 in English. Keep not thy silence.
Keep not thy silence.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
Be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo,
Thy
enemies make a tumult.
Thine enemies make a tumult.
They that hate thee
They that hate thee
have lifted up the head.
have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people.
against thy people.
And consulted
They consulted
against thy hidden ones.
against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come.
let us cut them off
Let us cut them off
from being a nation.
from being a nation.
With the name of Yasha
With the name of Yasha,
maybe no more in remembrance.
maybe no more remembrance.
But they have consulted together
But they have consulted together
with one consent.
with one consent.
They are confederate against
They
thee.
are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom
The tabernacles of Edom
and the Ishmaelites
and the Ishmaelites
of Moab
of Moab
and the Hagarenes
and the Hagarenes,
Gabal
Gabal
and Ammon
and Ammon
and Amalek
and Amalek,
the Philistines
the Philistines,
the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also was joined with them.
Assur also was joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them
Do unto them
as unto the Midianites,
as unto the
as
Midianites,
to Sisera,
as a Sarah,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kisan,
at the brook of Kasan,
which perished at Endor.
which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their noble
Make the nobles
like Oreb
like a red,
and like Zeeb.
and like Zeb.
Yea,
Yea.
all their princes as the Ba
All the princes as above,
and as Almuna,
and as Amunah,
who said,
who said,
Let us take to ourselves
Let us take to ourselves
the houses of God in possession.
the houses of God in possession.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a wheel,
as the stubble before the wind,
as a stubble before the wind,
as the fire burneth a wood,
as the fire burneth their wood,
and as the flames set the mountains on fire.
as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them
So persecute them
with thy tempest,
with thy tempest,
and make them afraid
to make them afraid
with thy storm.
with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame,
that they may seek thy name,
that they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh,
Let them be confounded
let them be
in
confounded
trouble forever.
in trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame
let them be put to shame
and perish,
and perish,
that men may know
that men may know
that thou,
that thou,
whose name alone
whose name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
art the most high
art the most high
over all the earth.
over all the earth. This is the blessings prayer in the last one for us. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Mayakal.
Wa Mayakal.
Wa Alahayim.
Wa Alahayim.
Matazab Ya'ah.
Matazab Ya'ah.
Alawap Yahana.
Alawap Yahana.
Ha Alawapim.
Ha Alawapim.
Ha Saranyim.
Ha Saranyim.
The Quataziyani.
Akwatazayani.
The Kalyayoyim.
Akal
Wa Aquatia.
Wa Aquatia.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ma'asham.
Mahasham.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Wa.
The water.
Amen.
Amen. Now the blessings prayer in the English. Bless you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh.
and Yahweh Shai,
And Yahweh Shai.
and Michael,
And Michael.
and the angels,
And the angels.
commanding General Yohanan,
Command General Hannah.
the generals,
The generals.
the captains,
The captains.
the officers,
The officers.
the troopers,
The troopers.
and the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
in the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it.
All right, with that, Sar, go ahead and set the scroll down. And copyright, go ahead. With that Mashabia, which we said, try to disconnect that. String it. All right. Shalom, Yashala, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatah, Yahweh Shemar Atan Hashem Yahushai. This is the ISUPK that started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York in 1969. We're under commanding General Yohanan, here to teach the truth of the Bible that so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians are the real Israelites according to the scriptures. Now it's sunset on Friday night, which means the Sabbath has begun. There are times where we would do the Sabbath directly on the first sunset or in the morning after that. Okay. It's perfectly lawful to do so because that is the beginning of the Sabbath day. And so when we do it in the Sabbath days and we go through the Old Testament, we read it in the Hebrew. It's called the Sabbath service because it's time to read. It's the day of rest for the Most High. You understand? It's the day that the Most High gave for us to have rest. And because of that, of course, we sacrifice our rest to do other things for our people. But that is a day where we're supposed to serve the Lord. You know what I'm saying? That's the day that we're supposed to be doing the work of the Most High. And then we continue that same zeal throughout the next week as it begins. You understand? So that's how the ISUPK has been doing this for decades. And we carry that on as a tradition that the Most High gave Israel thousands of years ago for us to keep. So now we coming in and reading the language from thousands of years ago in the oldest possible form that we could find, the ancient Hebrew. So if you go with us, we're starting at, do you remember what it was?
No.
Genesis chapter 16.
Uh-huh.
I think it was verse 11. Genesis chapter 16 and verse 11.
All right.
We're going to read 7 verses at a time. Make sure you include 11 as the first verse.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and get started here. And then, of course, again, as y'all know, y'all can follow along with us in the interlinear version of the Bible that you can download for free on the Bible Hub app. You can download it on iOS and Android, okay? And so go ahead and download that. Follow along with us. We're going to get through the Hebrew, and then we'll do 7 verses at a time. And 7 verses in Hebrew, then we go into English and read it in the English. Go ahead.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 16, verse 11. Wayamar, Lacha, Malak, Yahweh, Hanak, Harakah, Wayala,
Follow along with the copy. Yeah.
Dat, Bun, Wakarak, Shemal, Yeshamael, Kaya, Shemaiah, Yahweh, Al, Anayakia. Verse 12. Wahawa, Iha, Farah, Adam, Jadawa, Bakar, Waida, Ka, Bawa, Waila, Panya, Ka, Akiwa, Yashikawa. Verse 13. Wata, Quara, Sham, Yahweh, Harbar, Alahya, Ataha, Al, Raya, Kaya, Amarah, Hagam, Alam, Ra'ah, Yataya, Acharaya, Raya. Verse 14. Allah, Kanwa, Kara, Labara, Labaa, Bara, Bar, Laya, Lakia, Raya, Hanaka, Banyao, Bayan, Kudash, Wabainwa, Barat, Verse 15. Watalat, Hagar, Labaram, Banwa, Wayakwa, Ra, Abaram, Sham, Banwa, Ashar, Aladaha, Hagar, Yashmal. Verse 16. Wabaram, Ban, Shamanayim, Shanaha, Wasasha, Shanayim, Baladat, Hagar, At, Yashamael, Labaram, chapter 17, verse 1. Wayahaya, Abaram, Ban, Tashayim, Tashayim, Shanaha, what the Shai, Shanayim, Wayaira, Yahweh, Al, Abaram, Wayamar, Alawa, Anaya, Al, Shariah, Khata, Khalak, Lapanya, Wahaya, Tamayim. Verse 2.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
Go back to the English. Genesis chapter 16. We're going to start at verse 11 in the English. Go ahead.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 16, verse 11.
Mhm.
And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child.
Now, again, what was happening here, if you we're picking up where we left off in the last Sabbath service, what was happening was that the wife of Abram was not able to give birth to any children. And so the wife herself had a handmaid that lived with her that said, okay, well, so that we can have a family, let's go ahead and have you basically marry her, right? To go in unto her to give her a pregnancy, okay? And that's exactly what he did. But what happened was his wife started to have ill feelings towards her out of jealousy or whatever reason, right? Even though it was her idea, she still had regrets about it afterwards and started treating her ill. You know what I'm saying? So this woman was sent away, but this woman was sent not without the comfort of the Most High, actually giving her some information and reassurance about the child that she was carrying. This is an important pivotal point in the history of people on the earth, especially this particular nation that's going to be born from this child that is coming from this Egyptian woman that Abram had impregnated. I believe she was Egyptian. Go ahead.
Come. And shall bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael.
His name what?
Ishmael.
Ishmael. And his name Ishmael, Yashamayala, means God will hear. So he's hearing the affliction of what this woman is going through because she was put in a situation that she technically didn't have much control over, and now she feels like she's getting the bitter end of the deal. But the Most High heard her affliction. And so the name Yashamayala or Ishmael is the name of the son that she's going to have to give this child because the Most High is ordering her to do so. Go ahead.
Come. Because the Lord hath heard thy affliction.
Go ahead.
Verse 12. And he will be a wild man.
He'll be a what?
A wild man.
He'll be a wild man. Go ahead.
His hand will be against every man.
His hand will be against every man. Keep going.
And every man's hands against him.
Now, this is a very prophetic scripture right here because the people that just so happen to come from the seed of Ishmael are what we know today as the Arabs. You understand? the Arab nations. Ishmael is the forefather. I believe even the Quran will tell you that, which we don't read it that much. But we know that they even believe that they come from the seed of Ishmael, and that Ishmael was going to be a great sized nation. And what else it prophesied? Read that again.
Okay. And he will be a wild man.
Mm-hmm.
His hand will be against every man.
Is that not how the Arab people are? They are a wild people. I've seen them balance a car on two wheels and make music videos while standing on top of the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? I've seen these people run a plane into two twin towers. You know what I'm saying? Strap bombs on their chest and go out and yell whatever they want to yell before letting it off in front of a crowd of people. These are wild people, bro. They had children with AK-47s at the age of 8 years old shooting it in the air like as if they have enough ammo to even just do that for no reason. They are wild people, and their hand will be against every man, meaning what? They're always causing a ruckus some damn where. They move into France, they cause a ruckus in France. They're out there chanting against the government in France. They move out in the Middle East, they're out there in the Middle East, they're fighting each other. They're fighting everybody that comes in there. They're always fighting somebody. It's almost damn near to the point where you think that they're the enemy on the earth, but hey, the Most High is smart for having somebody for Esau to be distracted with in these days, because that's been going on for ever since the year 2001 and even before that, the Gulf War and things like that. So that has been building up to a very important event that the prophecies is talking about. That it starts with Ishmael being born, and that his seed would be a wild people fighting against everybody fighting against him. Go ahead.
Okay. And every man's hand against him,
Mm-hmm.
and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren.
Right, because he not necessarily got separated. He kind of for the most part stayed in the Middle East, right? Palestine, Gaza, Jordan, Syria, Turkey. A lot of them have seeds of people that derive from Ishmael. You understand? And so this is it's important because this shows, though the Most High ordained for that to happen, he also made sure to explain later on to Abram that in his other son to come will the seed be called to be the people of the Lord. So while the Ishmaelites will, you know what, just go ahead and read. It's going to tell you that. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And she shall call the name of the Lord that spake unto her, Thou God seest me. For he said, I have also here looked after him that seeth me. Verse 14. Wherefore the well was called Bir Lahirai. Behold, it is
Ba'ar Lacharia.
Ba'ar Laharia.
Which means well of the living one seeing me. You understand? Well of the living one seeing me. This is a location where this woman had experienced the Most High seeing her and speaking to her. And this is something you got to keep in mind. This is not an Israelite woman. This is a woman that was an Egyptian. But for a purpose, their family would be expanded into a great number of people too. Continue.
Okay. Wherefore, verse 14. Wherefore the well was called Bir Hariah. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. Verse 15. And Hagar bare Abram a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare Ishmael. Verse 16.
She gave him the name that the Lord told him to give. Told her to give him. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram.
That means he was 86 years old. A score is 20, right? So you know 20 times 4 is 80, and then 6 is the 86. So he's 86 years old when he had Ishmael, who was his firstborn son, because it took him this long to have a kid. Can you imagine? And then his wife, who is of age, is finding jealousy because she was not able to give birth, but the Egyptian woman was. It doesn't mention her age, but it does mention Abraham's age at this time. Go ahead and get the next verse.
Okay.
First verse in chapter 17.
The book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. walk before me and be thou perfect.
So about 3 years later, the Most High appears to him and says, walk before me and be thou perfect. And what is perfection? Perfection is the virtues the Most High gives us. Through his laws, we understand what they are now, because the Bible outlines them. But those morals that are supposed to be within us, Abram had those virtues.
Right.
So he says, walk thou before me and be thou perfect. That's a heavy scripture right there, because the world tries to tell you that you can't be perfect. But the Most High told Abram to be perfect. Christ told us to be perfect. You understand? So what does it mean to strive to perfection? It means to keep the morals that the Most High ordained in these orders called the commandments. Let's go back to the Hebrew, and we're going to read another 7 verses. Let's get a little bit more on this chapter here, because now we're going to talk about the seed that the Most High will call unto him. We talked about Ishmael and how Ishmael was going to be a great people that would be at war with everybody, and that's exactly what he's done. He's fulfilled his prophecy. And now let's talk about Isaac.
Okay, in this book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 2. What Tanacha Barayat the Bayaniya Babaya Naka Babayanak Warabat Awathka Awathak Bamahad Mahad. Verse 3. Wayapa Abaram Al Hanayawa Wayrabar Atawa Alaham Alahayam Amarar Anaya Hanacha Barai Daya Athaka Wahaya Yata Laba Hamawam Kawayam. Verse 5. Wala Yakwara Iwad Abda Shamka Abaram Wahayaha Shamka Abraham Abaram Kaya Abba Hamayawa Kawayam Abda Takaya. Verse 6. Waha Parathia Ataki Ataki Bamada Bamad Mada Wata Wanathafika Lago Wayam Wamalak Kayam Mamaka Yatazawa Verse 7. Waha Kwamathia Ata Bara Yataya Bayanaya Wabayakwa Wabayawa
that was a Jew. You're not.
I'm gonna read through verse 8.
What was it?
You're not.
Wabayanak.
You're the second one.
Wabayan.
Zara.
Zaharat.
Karyak.
Akariak. Ludar.
Wadaratam.
Ludaratham. Labarayat.
Walam.
Yawalam. Lahai. Yawam. Wata.
Haywa.
Lahayawat. Laka. Alahayim. Malazah. Ra'aika. Akia. Rayak. Read through verse 8.
Mhm.
Verse 8. Wana. Wanatathia. Laka. Wala. Zarayim. Wala Saryak. Akirak. Kia. Ak. Ath. Aratza. Magarat. Yak. Magariak. At. Ka. Aratza. Banaiwa. Kanai. Lakazat. Awalam. Wahaya. Yataya. Wahaya. Lataya. Lacham. Alahayim.
Sign of Christ. Let's get that back in the English. Genesis chapter 17, start at verse 2, and we'll read through verse 8.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 2.
Mhm.
And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly.
Now, man, he's 89 right now. He's already had one son with the Egyptian, but now it's time for him to have a son with his wife. The Most High has heard her affliction as well. He's going to bless her with a child, and this is going to be a child that's going to be the beginning of who we are today. We're reading about our common ancestor, you know what I'm saying? Us in the nation of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Our ancestors come from a strong seed of people that have children at the age of a ripe old age. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're a tough people. We come from a tough lineage. This ain't no regular people that we're talking about here. Abram is a man that walked perfect in the eyes of the Most High. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And Abraham fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying,
See how humble he is? The first thing he said is that he fell on his face. You understand? Because he understood that there was something that he believed in, a one true God. And that true God is now talking to him. Go ahead.
Okay, verse 3. And Abraham fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, verse 4, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
Many nations. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram.
Abram. Now, what is Abram? Abba Ram, which means Abba, which means father, and Ram, which means exalted. Okay, so his name already meant exalted father. Go ahead.
But thy name shall be Abraham.
Abraham, which means multiple exaltation. So his name means father of a multitude now. You understand? Go ahead.
For a father of many nations have I made thee. Verse 6. And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. Verse.
Now understand this. Why does it say nations? Why is it using plural there? Why is it saying more than one nation? Well, he already had one son. So he's already a father of what would become the nation of Ishmael. And then he's having another son who would be the forefather of the nation of Israel. You understand? but it gets more specific as it goes on, does it not? Because it goes from Abraham to Isaac, and then from Isaac to Jacob.
Yeah.
So Abraham is a forefather even of Isaac's sons, which is a different nation. Esau coming from Isaac, which is a different nation. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So when you say multiple nations, you have Ishmael already that comes from him. Then you have Jacob and Esau that come from him. Those are already three different nations right there. You know what I'm saying? So he's got a lot of family that's going to be built under him as what the Most High is saying about him. He's his exalted father of multitudes. Keep going.
Okay. Verse 6, and I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
And that definitely is true. Go ahead.
Verse 7, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant.
Now we know who that specific seed is talking about. And this is foreshadowing the lineage, and it's more specific as it goes along, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But the important thing to keep in mind here is that it says a what for in what? In their generations for an
everlasting covenant.
No, I thought there was a new covenant that's supposed to replace the old covenant.
For an everlasting covenant.
You understand? It's an everlasting covenant. This right here cuts Christianity, because Christianity tries to say that all nations are brought under that, but they don't understand the scriptures. The scriptures is clearly telling you right here that this is a covenant that is going to last forever. It's not going to come to an end. It may seem like it because we're in our punishment. That does not mean that we get put to an end as a nation of people that have a covenant with the Lord. And that's, of course, what we start to understand as the story continues to develop, as the nation of Israel is created throughout the book of Genesis. Go ahead.
Okay. To be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Verse 8, and I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God.
And this is also foreshadowing Israel taking over the land of Canaan, which would rightfully belong to them forever, but has, of course, they've been removed from that land since then, and we, to this day, are not returned as a people to our land. And it is to this day that Ishmael fights over that land with everybody that tries to come in that land. You understand what I'm saying? And so it's crazy how you look at even the beginning of the Bible, how it all is put together, regardless of where we're at. We understand these things now because we know the history, we know the present day, we know the prophecies, and how it's related to time as it's progressed. I'll go ahead and go back to the Hebrew. I'm going to get the next 7 verses.
Okay, it's the book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 9. Wayamor, Alahayim, Al, Abaram, Wa'atha, Atha, Barayathia, Tashmar, Athacha, Wazah, Wasariak, Akia, Akira, Lataratham, verse 10, Sata, Barayat, Sath, Barayathia, Ashar, Tashamaria, Wa, Baya, Naya, Bayakai, Wabayam Yakam, Wabayawa, Wabayan, Zarakaya, Akirakia, Hamawa, Lakam, Ka, Sakara.
Zakari.
11. Wanamal Thumb, Atha, Bashar, Aralak,
I will let you come.
I will have to come.
I was like, all right. I will let you come.
I will have to come. Waya. Lawat. Bara'ath. Bayanaya. Wapaya. Nayakam. Verse 12. Waban. Samanat. Yamayam. Yamawa. Lakam. Ka. Zakar. Ladarat.
I will let you come.
Ladarat Yakam.
Yeah.
Yalayat. Bayat. Wama. Kwanat. Kasap. Kasap. Makar. Banwa. Ban. Nakar. Ashar. Ba'a. Mazar. Mazariaka. Hawa. Verse 13. Hamawa. Yamawa. Yalayat. Bayakat. Bayatak. Mamakunat. Kapa. Kasap. Ka. Pakasa. Wahaya. Taha. Wara'aitya. Ba. Sharakam. Labarayata. Awalam. Verse 14. Wa'ira. Sakar. Ashar. La'a. Wamawa. Ata. Bashar. Ira. Latwa. Wana. Karathia. Hanapash. Ahawa. Ma'ai. Maya. Ata. Baratai. Taya. Apar. Verse 15. Wayamor. Alahayam. Al. Abaram. Sharaya. Ashakya. La'a. Takora. Ta. Shema. Sharaya. Kaya. Sharaya. Mashacha. Verse 16.
No, that's it. Go back to the English. We're going to start at verse 9. Excellent reading, by the way. Give him a hand. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all that reading is praying out because I can tell you reading it better now.
Yeah.
Keep going.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 9.
Mhm.
And God said unto Abraham, thou shalt keep my covenant thereof.
My covenant, therefore.
Second. And God said unto Abraham, thou shalt keep my covenant therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations.
Mhm.
Verse 10. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee.
Mhm.
Every man child among you shall be circumcised.
Now, this is, of course, when the law of circumcision is brought to the forefront. It started with Abraham. When his name was changed to Abraham, it also marked the beginning of a deal, a covenant between the Most High and Abraham's seed. So this was something that he ordered for him to do. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 11. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin,
Youch. Go ahead.
and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you.
And when does this happen? Keep going.
Verse 12. And he that is 8 days old
Mhm.
shall be circumcised among you,
Mhm.
every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed.
So again, it didn't even matter if it was of a seed, if it was anybody that was in the vicinity or in his household, that this was going to be something that would be done. And of course, cutting the foreskin is talking about on the rod of the men that are in that family unit, specifically starting when they're 8 days old.
Right.
Nowadays, they call it a bar mitzvah or something like that. Now, you're not going to be able to do that after 8 days. If they give you the option to do it at the hospital, and you could do that, right away.
Yeah.
But what does this do? It supposedly makes the area less sensitive to pleasure, which does what? Helps you fight against the flesh, which is part of what the physical alteration does to the body. And so again, this is what the Most High ordained for him to do, and that's what Abraham was ordered to do. So that's what he did. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 12. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. Verse 13. He that is born in thy house and he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised.
Mm-hmm.
And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant.
Yeah, this is supposed to always have gone on. You understand?
Mm.
And that goes with all of his generations.
Okay.
Keep going.
Verse 14. And the uncircumcised man child whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people.
Mm-hmm.
He hath broken my covenant.
Now, again, there are multiple nations that come from Abraham. You understand?
Right.
And so there are other nations that were also given this order too.
Right.
Esau was one of them. Israel would be one of them. You understand? But in practice, our people are the ones that take that mantle as the ones with the covenant.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We receive that covenant. We take the charge of doing that. And it would, of course, explain itself as the scriptures keep going in this book. Keep going.
Verse 15. And God has said unto Abraham, as for Sarai, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai.
So Sharia in Hebrew would mean princess. That was her original name. Go ahead.
But Sarah shall her name be.
Shara, which then means noble woman, is what her name becomes. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And I will bless her and give thee a...
Oh, my bad. You gotta go back to the Hebrew now. So she's getting her name changed. Abram got his name changed. Sarai is getting her name changed as well. So she's going from being a princess to being a noble woman or mother. You understand?
Right.
A mother that would be the beginning of a big family with Abraham. And this is setting the foundation for everything you see in the scriptures, because we deal predominantly with the seed that comes after these two people here who had their name changed. So it's not a coincidence that you come to the school, you get a different name, and that people think that that's far-fetched. It's not. It's a tradition that comes all the way back from the beginning of the covenant of our people. You understand? Go ahead.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 16. Wabarak Thaya Athacha Wagam Nathathia Mamanach Laka Ban Wabarak Wabarakathia Wahaya Thacha Laga Wayam Makaya Amayam Mamanach Yahayawa. Verse 17. Wayapa, Abaram, Al, Panaywa, Wayatza, Ka, Wayamar,
Malabawa.
Walabawa, Halaban, Maha, Maha, Shana, Yawalat, Wayam, Wam, Shara, Habat, the Sha'ayim, Shanacha, Dalat. Verse 18. Wayamar, Abaram, Al, Alahayim, Lao, Yashamayala, Yakayat, Lapanyak. Verse 19. Wayamar, Alahayim, Abal, Sarah, Asakwa, Yala, Dath, Laka, Ban, Wakarat, Ada, Shemail, Yatazak, Waka, Kwamathia, Ada, Barayathaya, Atawa, Labarathia, Awalam, Lasaraiwa, Akirawa. Verse 20. Wayasha, Mayail, Wayasha, Maila, Shamatha, Ikea, Shamaithia, Kanaha, Barakia, Atawa, Wahapara, Yataya, Atawa, Wahara, Bayathia, Atawa, Bamad, Maida, Shanayam, Ashar, Nashayam, Yawalaid, Wanathath, Tawa, Lagawai, Gadawa. Verse 21. Wata, Parayathia, Akayam, Ata, Itazakia, Itazak, Yatazak, Ashar, Thalad, Laka, Sarah, Lamawad, Khazara, Bashanat, Hakirat. Verse 22. Wayakal, Ladabar, Athawa, Wayaal, Alahayim, Mala, Abaram.
All right, go back to the English. Do read verse 16.
Okay. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 16.
Mhm.
And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Ye, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her.
Keep going.
Verse 17. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old?
So he kind of was chuckling to himself because he was in like a moment of shock. Like, really, she's about to give birth. She's at this age here. I'm gonna be a father again at almost 100 years old. Keep going.
And shall Sarah, that is 99 years old, bear? Verse 18. And Abraham said unto God, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 19. And God said, Sarah, thy wife, shall bear thee a son indeed,
Mm-hmm.
and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him.
See that? Now that it's starting to narrow down where that covenant belongs to. While is the circumcision is a sign of something that everybody in the household is, the covenant itself is for a specific people within the lineage after Abraham. It would go to Isaac. And so what he's saying, though, you know what? Go to verse 20.
Okay, verse 20. And as for Ishmael,
as for the other son that you had, your firstborn son, Ishmael, that was born unto the Egyptian woman, go ahead.
I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful.
Yeah.
And I will multiply him exceedingly.
Yeah, they've been multiplied exceedingly. There's a lot of them.
Right.
There's so many of them. You know what I mean? And the crazy thing is that Esau is trying to do as much as he can to get rid of them, and he just can't seem to do it because they come out of the ground over there in Gaza. You understand? Right. They come out of the caves and mountains and sand dunes and things like that. But yeah, they also look. Keep reading because it goes even more into specifics.
Okay. And will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget.
Ishmael also became a nation that was very large, and those I mean, this goes deep all the way through till today, where there's, have that term Arab money.
Yeah.
The oil money. They've been blessed with that land in that area that they haven't been removed from for all this time. Remember, the scripture says that they would be dwelling among their brethren. So they're somewhat unified community has kept them strong, even to the point of today where now Dubai and Saudi Arabia is full of wealth, full of commerce and trade and resources, mainly oil, right? Tons of that. And that's what the Most High has done for them. And he said he was going to do that in the beginning. But that's not who his covenant is with. Though they are blessed people, the Most High has given them a lot. That was the firstborn son of Abraham, but it's not the son that the Most High had the everlasting covenant with. Keep going.
And I will make him a great nation. Verse 21. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 22. And he left off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham.
So he said, you about to have another kid, get about a year from now, because you're about to get her pregnant, and then she's going to be, dealing with the pregnancy for, 9-10 months, whatever it is, right?
Mm.
So that was about to happen soon. So that was a sign for him to just keep going at it until it happened, you know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what happened. But let's go back to the Hebrew. Now we got to read Genesis chapter 17, verse 23, and a little bit of the next chapter.
This book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 23. Vayakwat Abaram Ata Yashamaila Banwa Wata Ka Yalaya Daya Vayatha Wata Ka Nakanat Kapwa Ka Sakar Banasha Wayat, Abaram, Wayamar, Atha, Bashar, Ilatham, Baitazayam, Wayawam, Hayawam, Zahar, Kashar, Dabara, Atwa, Alahayim. Verse 24. Abaram, Ban, Thayam, Watashai, Shanaha, Wahamalawa, Bashar, Aralawat. Verse 25. Wayashai Mayala, Banawa, Ban, Salsha, Aishara, Shanaha, Bahamalawa, Atha, Bashar, Ilathwa,
Around.
Lyartha. Verse 26. Ba'aitism, Hayawam, Kazaha, number one, Abaram, Waishamaila, Waishamayal, Banwa. Verse 27, Bokal, Anash, Bayatawa, Yalaid, Yalayad, Bayalat, Wamakwanat, Kasab, Ma'at, Ban, Nakar, Namarwa, Atwa. Verse chapter 18, verse 1. Wayara, Alayahu, Yahweh, Balania, Mamra, Wahwa, Yashab, Pathak, Chachal, Kam, Wayawam. Verse 2. Wayashar, Ayaniwa, Wayayar, Wahana, Sulasha, Anashayim, Natazabayim, Alayah, Wayar, Wairataza, Akoratham, Mapathak, Chachal, Wayasha, the Kwa, Ratza. Verse 3. Wayamar, Adonai, I am. Na. Matzah Thaya. Han. Ba. I. Yakya. Ah. Naya. Na. The Iba. Myla. Iraka. Verse 4. Yakwa. Naya. Might. Mayum.
Hold on. No, you're supposed to talk about verse 2. Or is he just going to keep on going to the next?
Yeah, because he's gonna finish that and then go 2 verses into chapter 18.
So stop at 2.
Yeah, stop at 2.
Those are the very last ones?
No, there's still 2 more groups
Oh,
because we have to stop at verse 16.
gotcha.
Keep going.
You just keep on going on the Hebrew because you kind of already started on the next group.
We'll do the next 2 all in one fell swoop, but let's get this first because this is the end of chapter 17.
I already finished 17.
No, I'm talking about reading in English.
Where did I stop?
You're gonna be at verse 23.
Okay. The book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house,
Mm-hmm.
and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of the foreskin in the self same day, as God had said unto him.
Even if they're past the age of 8, they were all ordered to have their foreskin cut off. Now, how does that relate to us today? Because some of us have parents that did not do this tradition. What does that mean? That when we come into the truth, we got to cut our foreskin off?
Mm-hmm.
We have been raised like, you understand, and that's one of the main factors when it comes to us teaching the Israelites that were among the Gentiles, that Christ being that sacrifice meant that we would be able to be adopted back. Remember how the scripture talks about unto Israel pertaining to the adoptions?
Mm.
So we even be able to be adopted back into our covenant, even if we had not. You know what I'm saying? The scripture, the Most High says this. He says, in the time of ignorance, the Lord winked at, meaning he let it slide a minute because you didn't know better. He says, but now commandeth man everywhere to repent. So now you say you have a son, Kapiar. What are you going to do? You going to give him the circumcision? Of course, because it is a law. It is a law. It's no different than a brother that comes into the school and already has tattoos. That doesn't mean, oh, you need to go get a laser removed. It just means sin no more. You understand? This may have been something that was overlooked, but it wasn't your fault. At this particular juncture, though, everybody had to get, you know what I'm saying? Because the Lord gave them that direct order right then and there. This is before everything that happened after all the prophets and everything like that. So this is what he did. And himself, too. He didn't leave himself out of that. You know what I'm saying? So Abram did this. And keep going.
Okay. Verse 24. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin.
He's about 100 years old when he did this. You know what I'm saying? That's hardcore right there. Go ahead.
Verse 25. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin.
See, even Ishmael had it done. Even the Arabs did that. Go ahead.
Verse 26. In the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised and Ishmael his son.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 27. And all the men of his house born in the house and bought with money of the stranger were circumcised with him.
So, look, we all doing this. Ain't nobody getting away from this. All the men have to do this because the Lord demanded it. Go ahead.
Chapter 18, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day.
That's how, even nowadays we do the same thing. We like to chill on the front porch. You know what I'm talking about? that's how we roll. You know what I'm saying? Have a cooler out there. A couple Modelos. You know what I'm saying? We be posted up. You know what I'm saying? On some King of the Hill type beat. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him, and when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground.
Why did he do that? 3 men stood by him, and when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground. He recognized these were no normal people.
Right.
Let's go back to the Hebrew and find out more about these brothers that showed up to his crib.
Okay. This book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 4.
Just go ahead and read all the way through to verse 16.
Okay. Verse 4.
Verse 3.
Okay. Verse 3. Wayamar. Adanya. Ram. Na. Huh? Matazathia. Khan. Ba'ai Yanaya Ka. Ow. Na. Diabar. Myla. Idaka. Kadat. Verse 4. Yakat. Na. Ma'at. Mayam. Haka Tazawa. Raka Lakayam. Waha Sha'ainawa. Hakata. Tha Katha. Haitza. Verse 5. Wakwa Ha Pat Aham Waza Idawa Labakam Ahar Ta'ibara Kaya Al Khan Abratham Allah Idakam Wayamaro Khan Haishaha Kashar the Barbata. Verse 6. Wayamachar Abaram Hacha Lacha Al Sarah Wayamar Maharaya Shalisha Sayam Kwamat Salat Lausha Waishaya Agawat. Verse 7. Wow Habakar Ratza Abaram Wayakwat Ban Bakar Rakah Watawab Wayata Al Hanaira Wayamahar La Aishwat Atawa Verse 8. Wayakwat. Kamahat. Waklab. Waban. Habakar. Ashar. Ashha. Wayabda. Lapahayim. Wahwa. Irmad. Alahayq. Tha. Kta. Haratza. Wajalaka. No. Wayaka. Verse 9. Wayamarwa. Alayawa. Ayaha. Sarah. Asakat. Wayamar. Hanaha. Baha. Verse 10. Wayamar. Shawab. Ashwab. Alakia. Alayak. Kaita. Kayat. Wahana. Ban. Ashara. Ashaka. Washara. Shamaith. Pathak. Ha. Warwa. Shakara. Yawa. Verse 11. Wahabaram. Washara. Saknayim. Bayam. Bayamyam. Khada. Layawat. Ashara. Arak. Kanasham. Verse 12. Watha Tzazakat. Shara. Bakrabat. Lamar. Akariah. Badataya. Haya. Taha. Laya. Ainacha. Wahadanya. Sakan. Verse 13. Wayamor. Yahweh. Al. Abaram. Lamacha. Zacha. Tzazakha. Shara. Lamar. Apta. Amanam. Ailat. Wanaya. Zakah. Nataya. Verse 14. Haya. Pala. Yahweh. Dabar. Ama'id. Ashwa. Alakaya. Alayak. Kaita. Kai. Kaya. Wala Shara Ban. Double 14 or
No, you're going to 16.
verse 15. Wata Kasha Shara Lamar La'a Tazakataya Kaya Yarat Wayamar La'a Kaya Tazakat. Verse 16. Wayakwa Mawa Masham Anashayim Wayashakwa Pawa Al Ya Saram Wabaram Halak Imam Lashalakam. 16.
All right, let's get that in English now.
Where did I stop?
Start at verse 3.
Verse what?
Verse 3.
Verse 3?
Yeah.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 3. And said, my Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away.
Now, it's not saying pass away like die. He's saying pass not away like don't just pass by without me getting the chance to show you some servitude. You know what I'm saying? Southern hospitality is a term that we think of now. Somebody comes to your house, you offer them something to eat, you offer them something to drink. You know what I'm saying? Abram was a humble man. So he saw these people coming through and he literally bowed towards the earth towards them because, I mean, you know, they walk with the presence to themselves and he wanted to show them respect. Abram was a righteous man, a humble man. You understand? At the age of 100 years old, he's still commanding his household and, you know, being brotherly to people. You understand?
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay. I pray thee from thy servant, from thy servant. Verse 4. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet and rest yourselves under the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 5. And I will fetch a morsel of bread and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on.
Mm-hmm. Come on, take a break, man. Y'all seem like y'all been walking for a minute. Just go ahead and chill under this tree. I'm gonna get y'all some water, get y'all some bread. Let's see what else he's got prepared for that. Go on.
For therefore are you come to your servant.
You know what I'm saying? That's brotherhood right there, man. That just goes to show the kind of the duty that we're called to be as men of the Most High, to walk after the humbleness of our forefathers. We too become servants to our people. You know what I'm saying? Us three brothers right here, we may be off on the weekend, but we still put in work on the weekend. You understand? If that means going to give clothes to the homeless, then that's the move. If it means going to prophesy for our people, you know what I'm saying, in the city, that's the move. But it is the Most High that always gets the glory from the things that we do. And that's how Abraham operated, as a servant to people through brotherhood and having the spirit of meekness and humility. That is why he was the person that deserved, the Most High saw fit to be the father of many nations of people, including, of course, the children of Israel. Keep going.
And they said, so do as thou hast said.
They said, go ahead, man. That's cool. Keep going.
Verse 6. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah and said, make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth.
That's cool. I call it 3 measures. This is what, like a portion, plates, right? So 3 measures of fine meal. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And Abraham ran unto the herd and fetched a calf.
Wait, my bad. Hold on. Read. I think you skipped the second half of that verse. Go ahead.
Measures of fine meal, kneaded, and made cakes upon the hearth.
Upon the hearth. That's talking about cooking some batter, some bread together, making a meal. You think about what all this is. I mean, you know what? I'm going to explain it once it gives more of it. Keep going.
Verse 7. And Abraham ran unto the herd and fetched a calf tender and good.
Yeah.
And gave it unto a young man, and he hastened to dress it.
So they got some calf meat, right? Whether the calf was alive still or not, it doesn't say, but we know that it had to be dressed. It had to be prepared. So whatever it took to get it ready, that young man hasted to dress it. So they were prepping this. They had to cook it. They had to get it right. They had to get the right parts, you know what I'm saying, for this measurement of 3 meals that were going to be served to these brothers that came to Abram's place. Go ahead.
And he took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed and set it before them.
Yeah.
And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat.
You know what I'm saying? So you got the bread, the cake bread with the lamb. It was calf. I guess that could be cow too, right? So with the beef on the top of it, you know what I'm saying, dressed with butter and all the flavorings that you could expect, you know what I'm saying, our forefathers to have done and used, you know, to get it right. You know what I'm saying? As presentable. Go ahead.
You know our restaurants, right?
Okay.
You know buttermilk makes the meat tender.
Most High Christ, and it's already tender because it's a calf,
right?
It's not more tender. So I mean, you're talking about fall off the bone style beef right here. This is like that.
That sounds good. Right
it's
now.
like that kind of guisada that you get at the taqueria that's got that brown color,
right?
Not that reddish color, but that brown color, because you know that it's been cooked damn near to well done, and the sauces make it even more tender. That's just. Right. And then imagine that, like, you ever go to a Mediterranean restaurant and they give you that naan. They call it naan, but it's just a big old tortilla that's like thicker than a regular tortilla.
Like pita. Yeah,
and that's prepared on a hot stone. And when he's talking about making the cake on the hearth, it's talking about cooking the bread. Having it basically becomes the plate. It's almost like when you go to Taco Cabana and you get like a cabana bowl, except it's a different form of bread. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not as crispy, but it's, you know, it's going to taste good. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's going to really refresh these brothers, getting them the water, give them the milk and butter and all that stuff. And, you know what I'm saying? And them brothers are finna eat good tonight. Go ahead.
Yeah, they are. Verse 8. Verse 9. And they said unto him, where is Sarah, thy wife? And he said, behold, in the tent. Mm-hmm. Verse 10.
And he said, they knew her name already. That's crazy. Go ahead.
Verse 10, and he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. Mm-hmm. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him.
Right, of course, because, you know, Abram had talked to the Most High already about having a son with Sarah. That he was going to name Isaac, but he may not have mentioned it to her. So when these men were discussing this thing about her, she was overhearing, because you know how women are. They're going to stand by the door and
right.
try to hear what's the conversation, because this is how we are, you know what I mean? As human beings, we always got to know what's up, you know what I mean? Right. So, and of course, she may have been worried about her husband, because, you know, these men didn't look like no weaklings, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so they're prepping this meal for them. She's eavesdropping, and she hears them say that she's going to have a son or a kid. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 11. Now, Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age.
Like, it's getting older hurts, man. So, you know, they're already at that 100 years old, 90 years old. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women.
See, that's talking about menopause right there, which usually happens between the ages of what, like 50, 60, 70 years old for some women, depends. But that Sarah, well beyond even those years, is she hears this, and what does she do?
Verse 12. Therefore Sarah laughed with herself, saying, within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being also old also? Shall
I have pleasure, meaning shall I do the act? Are we still going to get busy even at this age? I feel like, you know, it'd be like a chore to do that at that age. Bones hurting, arthritis, you know what I mean? Like we ain't glorious like we were in the earlier parts of Genesis, where we live in hundreds of years old. But we barely get to 100, we fall apart. We're falling apart at 30, 40. Right. You know what I'm saying? These people, they live to be 100, and they, you know, and now they're talking about making love and stuff like that. She's like, what? Are you kidding me? And she kind of chuckled to herself. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And the Lord said unto Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I of surety bear a child which am old?
Why is she showing doubt? Why is she feeling like this? Keep going.
Verse 14. Is it anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed, I will return unto thee according to the time of life.
You know, the Most High operate on a different time frame than us. But he knows the way our time frame is. Of course, the time of life meaning what? She's going to get pregnant. That's going to take about 9-10 months. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, copyright.
Now, what's even crazy is this is how to show that the Lord knows exactly what you're thinking, because this she didn't even say this out loud.
Right, he said
She was
within
thinking-
herself.
Yeah, she was thinking
Yeah.
this inside her head.
The same thing happened with Abram when he talked to him. Remember, it said what he said within his heart. You know what I'm saying? And the Most High still know. He's like, I still see what you're talking about. You know, the scripture says the Most High's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Ain't no thought that you can have that he don't know about. Ain't no intention that you have that he ain't already calculated. Plus, another thing too is he has, especially Israel, people on the earth to do his will. You know what I'm saying? And to fulfill the narrative that he is pushing on the earth. And so when he says something's going to happen, it's going to happen, and we have to believe it. That's why we got to believe in these words. We got to believe in the prophecies. We got to believe in the promises for our forefathers, and that's why we operate in a sense of confidence that these words will be true and are true. And that gives us all the inspiration we need to keep pushing forward in our work. Go ahead.
According to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Verse 15. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. Verse 16.
It's like a nervous chuckle, you know. He's like, oh, but I know you did. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And the man rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way.
Now we understand what these men was up to. We're going to have to find out what they're up to in the next Sabbath service, because they look towards a place. So they're on a scouting mission. These men are on a scouting mission to Sodom. And they just so happened to stop by Abraham's for a pit stop and a good little, talk with their brother. And then it's going to get even more crazy from then in the next Sabbath service. So with that, Amadium.
Still plugged up. Still plugged up. I ran it.
Yeah, just be careful not to step on.
Push it. Push it. Push it.
Need this food.
Close it. All right, with that, Amadium, Sar, Panyahakadam, in the east, this direction. Face what you said. Then we're gonna finish with the Lord's Prayer in the ancient Hebrew. Go ahead.
Abanao.
Shabbat
Shema.
Shemayim.
Kodash.
Haya.
Shamka.
Shemka.
Yahweh. Malachaka.
Malachaka.
Taba'a. Batazaka. Haya.
Haya.
Aisha. Baratza.
Baratza.
Kawak. Haya. Bashma. Latanana. Lakam. Ka. Yawam. Salakna. Kabawatna. Kasalakna. Kabawatiana. Wala. Tabi'ana. Wanasawan. Abal. Haishayana. Mayan. Ra. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Wahala. Watapara. Lalumium. Amen.
And in English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. All right, face towards me, Tajir. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Brakya.
Bashim Yahshua Brakya.
Bashim Yahshua Brakya.
after he gets the toast.
Laya Shroud.
Laya Shaul. Do better next time. All right, at this time, what we're going to do is we're going to give a courage salute to the brothers. All right, sister may have a seat. Individual, Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Brakatham, Yadi Matah. Sorry, we're going to turn face to sisters for one courage salute. Sisters, you may rise. Individual, Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Atam Hashem Yahushua, Yadi Matah. Dismiss.